I'm hoping for this video to be about 30 minutes long. Excuse me. I've been having a really huge cough ever since I started smoking, but it's not from the tobacco. It's sort of hard to explain, but like the way phlegm works in like the soul world is like it's a little bit different from just phlegm. It would represent some expelling or purging that's taking place, probably in the collective consciousness rather than just in myself, which you can see the reflection of the collective consciousness in yourself. Like that's how you're supposed to view your other people. Like that's how you can sense other people's energies. I literally just made a 25-minute video, but I deleted it because I didn't like it, and I wanted to talk about more general things. Like I deleted. I was gonna do Spotty Stana video. I deleted the actual video about that because I've noticed I like talking more generally about things than anything in particular. So like I don't really like having to speak about things so much as like ending up on a certain topic and enjoying speaking about whatever it be being like sort of randomly. Like for instance, like I got these words right here. They're all these Sanskrit words like Agni Hotra, Agni Manavaka, Agni Stu, Agni Tattva, Agni Vidya, Agraya, Aguna, Ahetuka, Aham, Aham, Atma, so on and so forth. And they're all these words that are like heightened, but like they're heightened because they're random. No, I'm just kidding. But there's this truth to like randomness. Like there's this light principle truth to randomness that it's harder to strive for when you're trying for something, but it's not impossible, and it's not necessarily hard at all to try for something, like to try to make a video about something. Like it's not impossible, but it's more challenging to do like on the spot kind of. It also can be equally true though. Like it can be just super true because like you're like just sort of pushing through these low vibrational energies, but sometimes I like to allow a flow more than to try so hard to do things. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a whole new video because I like the way these videos turn out no matter what I talk about. Like I've liked my ability to just like my favorite part about these videos has been like it just initially it was about just talking and clearing the throat chakra more so than like I made my first video just to make a video of me talking because I did that before and I really liked it just because it turned out way cooler than I had expected. And um yeah, I don't know how a lot of times, so the way I always end up talking and then just sort of running out of words, I consider when I run out of words, I consider that sort of like talking in cycles. You sort of get to a point where you've made your whole, as far as the chakras go, you sort of made your points clear, and then like it would get to, like ordinarily it might get to like an awkward point where it'd be like, okay, so what should we talk about next? But because I'm already conscious of that part, it's sort of like um, as you get to like a full point of whatever you've said, like you've made your point, it's sort of like um, running out of words isn't running out of words so much as just being done with what you were saying. And it's sort of like the completion of this cycle that I do where in talking like here now my laugh is weird. um Om Om Someone told me to do a video about affirmations. Affirmations are really cool. That's what I said in the last video. But affirmations are really, they're cool. Like, one of my favorite affirmations are the word how. Like, how, how, who, what, why. These words have a really strong light presence. Like, they would be equivalent to like someone who had lights in their eyes. Like in this last video, I talked about the lights in the eyes and stuff. But like, essentially, when you see the lights in a person's eyes, they're essentially at a really high frequency for channeling, to where like essentially they could, you could think of them as like being closer to like a light being than when they don't have lights in their eyes. But that you're not necessarily not close to there when you don't have lights in your eyes. You just are doing something else. Like, the fact that I've not had lights in my eyes the whole time in any of these videos is merely because I've been looking straight down at my phone. But like, I tried to look into like, I don't know if you can see lights in my eyes. It'd probably be kind of hard. But when you do have these lights in your eyes, it's just a more true, like, not true, but it's just a really high frequency. It's how I would word things. So, what should I talk about? What should I do? I'm gonna smoke. I got a cigarette. I always put like cigarettes in here. It can hold like 2 cigarettes. Like, I don't know how big this thing looks, but it's like the size of all my fingers. It's pretty large. It's like the same size as this. Yeah. What should I talk about? That's a good question. Maybe I'll just do prana. I was thinking about doing a video of just me doing prana and just like showing you guys me essentially like passing out repeatedly. Like, it feels so good to do the prana though. That's the best part about it, is the feeling. And yeah, I wish I had more Sanskrit words. My mom came into my room one day and threw away all my Sanskrit words, like 2 or 3 of my pages. So that's nice. I have to print those off some other time now, or find them online. That's what I should do, is try to find them online, because they're these perfect Sanskrit words. Like, I printed them off, and they were all like exactly what I needed. Like, they were all just perfectly suited to me. Like, Abhana Varana, screening the outshining bragman, one of the 2 Avarana Saktis, which is removed by Aparoksha Jnana, or knowledge. And Abhana Varana and then Abhana Achit would be the second of the 2 Avarana Saktis, which is removed. And that's why I say Abhana Varana, Abhana Achit. That's what those mean. They're essentially, those 2 alone screen away like all low vibrational energy, you could say. And the same effect happens like when you say the word how. Like, how does that happen? Just how is how that happens. Like, that's how you would think of things. Like, how is how that happens. And you could say like light is how that happens. It's sort of like a law of frequency. Like, there are aliens, like lower vibrational beings that do exist. The reason that they don't walk with us is because their frequency is so low that, not that they couldn't or might not in other places walk amongst humans like us, but if they did, their frequency would be so low that we would be pushed to be like much better people if they were here, because like if they just appeared now, because the frequency difference would be so drastic, we would feel like our highest self relative to them, and we would just start moving towards our higher selves if we just knew about them. That's why sometimes, based on your intentions, all you have to do, like, it can be considered high frequency just to think of these low vibrational energies, because the distance between you and them just creates this, like, it's how you remove low vibrational beings from, like, your space or something. just just the it's like a law. In Sanskrit there's a word called vrata, which means like holy law, or like essentially it just means that certain lower vibrational energies can't necessarily do anything that they would, like, can't mix with higher vibrational energies or frequencies. I've heard that the 369 thing, like with Tesla, is it's energy, frequency, and vibration. That just sounds so good to me, because like I like thinking of things as high frequency, but to think of what something that's high frequency energy and vibration would be, if you were to really look into things, would be like pretty much it would be like the sun, or like staring into someone's eyes with like lights, and like while they're staring into the sun or something. That would be like high frequency energy and vibration, relatively speaking. um, so what should I talk about? I'm gonna do prana. I'm gonna show you guys a prana at least one time, just so that you can see someone doing it and see like what it looks like. The first time you try prana in your life is crazy. It will be like you did whippets. That will be what it feels like. But it will feel like good whippets that weren't as wompy as they seemed. like you you will, like, the first time I did prana, it was when I was in my other room. I like was standing up. I fell back onto my bed, and I was like, I had a fan blowing in my window, and all I could hear was like, it was like my consciousness went to the fan, and I was like part of the fan for a moment. It was wild. Um, it was really awesome though too, and so I just kept trying it and trying it, and it changed for me to where when I first started it would be like that, and then eventually it got to where it was like more subtle. Like this one time I passed out in the shower. Not that that's subtle at all, but like I passed out and like hurt my neck. I literally fell over in the shower. This was when I was like, I can't remember where I was, but I fell over in the shower. Ooh, did not feel good. Alright, I'm gonna actually smoke. You might wonder like why I just got the hiccups all of a sudden. In part, it's because I ate food. You don't actually need food. I'll repeat that a couple times, like while I'm making videos, just to like get that into the collective consciousness. Like we actually don't need food. I haven't broken my habits yet, so I don't judge anybody. Like people look down on people who eat meat sometimes. Like not commonly, but like say in the soul world. Um, it's a really hard addiction. Like it's not an easy thing to quit. It's sort of like trying to give up sleep. It's really hard, or to start only standing up, like to give up sitting down. I've tried all three of those things, and they're all these really challenging things that you know they're super rewarding. Like you can find out all the, or like you won't feel the rewarding effects, but you'll know about them, or you can know about them, which is like they all revolve around opening yourself up to like the astral world, essentially like Travis Scott. And uh what was I gonna say? What should I talk about? The key component to these videos being good is that I'm gonna go quote unquote off topic all the time. I'm gonna go on tangent upon tangent upon tangent. I love tangents. Tangents are like the good parts of conversations. When I do that, like this is why I deleted my last video. When I feel like I have to be talking about something, there's a vibe. There's a vibe and an energy to where like I'm not enjoying myself as much as I am when I'm able to go on tangents and just talk about whatever I want to talk about. Because what I know is that in speaking about anything, I'm using my chakras and I'm clearing up energy from my chakras. Like I can sit and just like think about the Ajna chakra and begin to clear energy from there, just from like keeping my attention there. But after a while, it gets to where if you're like, okay, keep talking about this one thing, keep talking about this one thing, it gets so stressful trying to stay on topic that it's like all I really want to do is just talk about anything else right now. So it's like I would almost rather just like I was trying to make, someone asked me to make a video about affirmations, and I was also thinking about making a video about like the Svadhisthana chakra, which is like the sexual chakra, because it's like sexuality is like it's like the most important thing in chakras. It's like sex or like reproduction or like the birth process is like the most important process in life, kind of. It's like subtly speaking, not really. And it's one of like the more important parts of like the light body. It's just the sexual process and the light body. Like one of the main, like, I'm not certain about this, but I'm halfway certain about this, semi-certain about this. Once, like, so within, or as within, so without, essentially. So, like, where we are is on planet Earth, but we're also within our chakras. Like, to the extent that you can see in any direction, like you might see mountains in the distance, or trees, or just like the skyline or the ocean as like the farthest thing you can see to one side and to the other side in like a 360. Then you're grounded on the earth, and then you can look up and you can imagine like the sun or stars as like one of the highest things you can see in the sky. And then you can even imagine at that point that eventually up doesn't necessarily have to be up anymore. Like your up can be down and your down can be up, because like some people know the star Sirius. When you look directly up in the soul world, you're looking to like the stars, or for us like the star Sirius, just because that's the closest really bright star to us. But I like to think of whatever stars might be even brighter than Sirius, or like elsewhere in the universe where other people's energies could also be there. Not that there's anything wrong with Sirius, but if you know anything about the stars and stuff, which I don't know a whole lot. Like I don't know about like astrology and stuff, or like the signs. Like I'm a Libra, but I don't know much about any of the signs whatsoever. Like for a while I would just downplay them and say they're not real, but people take them so seriously. Like I can't say that people would be wrong with how seriously people take themselves about the, like, oh, I'm a this, I'm a that. What should I talk about? This would be my 6-pack. I'ma always go on like this. I used to be more in shape. I haven't worked out in an extended period of time. Like, I like to exercise, but I there's some energy blockage that makes me like tired, or makes the collective tired, where we feel like not working out for the majority. And I would either say that we don't need to work out, or we need to give up something else. Like I know for a fact if we give up food, people who are already ripped tend to be more likely to work out. That's like a theme, I think. I think that's true. All right, I'm gonna smoke. My thoughts are wild. But I like having more of this freedom around speech rather than feeling like I have one thing to talk about. I don't know why I keep saying that, but it's just easier for me. I can get into a higher state of consciousness if I can talk about random things versus trying to teach about any one thing. And then like it's fun to try to merge those things, but not too aggressively. Like, not that it's aggressive to be like trying to teach about a single subject, and I'm not just like burnt out or something, but like, um, it's easier to talk about random things sort of randomly rather than to like have like a script like, oh, I've got this whole all these words jotted down to say, like it would be so hard to use notes. I feel like maybe not really, but like I don't like to. I like to just ramble, ramble like Rambo. One of the cool things about making a YouTube video is like you're forced to be super open with everybody that you know. So it's a really cool feeling. Like that's if someone has that down, that they're sociable to some extent, or like a really introverted extrovert or something, and like that, like that's like it's like a health sign. It's sort of like saying, oh, this person's would be a good partner to have because they demonstrate this healthy trait. That's sort of how I think about things, but not so specifically. I'm really good. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm gonna read this word. It's a good word. Ahameva sarva. It means I alone am all. Ahameva sarva. It's sort of good for like if you have other people's lower vibrational energies trying to contact you or annoy you or harass you. Ahameva sarva is it's like a really strong word for Sanskrit word for clearing these energies. You might always feel like, oh, I just said the word, like it's sort of painful to talk about, but like I just tried and it didn't work. Like sometimes you'll just be going through something more serious to where that's how things seem at the time. Like, oh, I just tried these Sanskrit words and they didn't work for me. You have to develop that slightly analytical part to where you know what you're looking for when you're trying to determine whether or not things would work or how things may or may not work. Essentially, you just have to realize like anywhere that you might find a blockage in whatever you're trying to do, you just have to realize like somewhere else someone might have found whatever, like how to get past that blockage. Like some other people might know, and generally all those people are just like more open-minded, and like where you might have stopped trying at one part because it got uncomfortable or awkward, they might have had a better sense of not caring there and continued to have a little more energy to try there, whereas you got weirded out and like didn't want to. I want this video to be longer. I wish I could do like an hour long video. That would be dope. But I don't know what I would talk about in a whole hour. Alright, I'm about to smoke for like the next 2 minutes, so that's terrible. But no, not really. I'm gonna smoke the rest of this weed. This is like, I smoked like all this, like this much of this weed plant that I had growing out at my house. It was like a wild weed, but it's hard to say whether or not I felt anything. It would be super high, probably super high CBD, but low THC, just because it's a natural plant, and so I'm probably like super relaxed without realizing it, just because I'm not super comfortable with CBD yet, and Um, yeah. All right, here we go. If you ever see me drool after smoking, it happens all the time. Like my mouth will just water so much after smoking like tobacco. I don't know why it happens, but I'm gonna try to move this up. No, it's not working. But it happens all the time, and I don't know why. And it's kind of like the way I sit with like my like I always like lean on my knee like this. It's sort of like an awkward position, but it just like feels, it's just comfortable. So like it just happens, I guess, to draw that comparison. I'm scared to even sing song lyrics because I'm gonna get copyrighted. I love music so much. Like one of the main things that I do is listen to music, and it might not sound like I got vocals, but let me tell you, don't get me started. No, I'm just kidding. It's hard to sing like. It's hard to sing in public and not feel uncomfortable. But not for everybody. Some people have that down to where they could sing in front of anybody, probably any individual, and just be like cool with it. But it's kind of hard to do. I'm trying to find out how I was comfortable enough to be making jokes. Like for some reason now I don't want to be cracking jokes and stuff. Like yo jokes. But I want to get there. I'm good at getting there though. I'm really good at setting my mind to like just like boom. if I want to make someone laugh, if I just choose to, if I'm just like boom and try to like see that someone laughs, I'm decent about seeing that work as like a light move that I've like found. Like and then like actually seeing that the person laughs. Like not everybody, like some people aren't laughers. Some people don't laugh a lot. But say I'm in a group of people and I'm like, alright, someone laugh. That shit will work. Just cause like I got my numbers down. That's truth though, for real. I can go in a group of like 10 or 20 people and just like intend for someone to laugh and see that someone laughs. That's what I made this whole video about. Boom. Nah, I'm just kidding. That was lame. That's what I could make so many jokes about how lame I am, or how lame I seem, or like actually lame I seem, even if I try to act like, hey, I'm actually cool. Or like making jokes about how I'm not actually cool or lame or intelligent. I could go on for days. Nah, that's just ego-y. But to a certain extent it's not. If someone's actually confident that you're not intelligent, it's not ego-y to prove to them that you're not. Just to actually demonstrate like, hey, look, you're actually confused here. like just to build a relationship, to build a stronger relationship with the person so that they know like, oh, this is actually a cool person I could use for this purpose, or we could trade in this way now. Like, alright, I'm gonna smoke. The video might end here soon. It's up to 30 minutes, but that's pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's gonna end here soon. I think the last one was like 20. I'll probably get to like 30 in a couple minutes. So I'm gonna smoke and then I'll have a little bit more time to talk. I might delete this and make a whole nother video. I wish I could just upload videos faster. I would upload so many videos if I could, just like hours of videos. really like my tamala. Tobacco, tamala. It's tamala in Sanskrit. That's one name for tobacco in Sanskrit. That's why I like Sanskrit so much. In other languages, there's so many more words. In other languages, don't get me started on linguistics, yo. I only know English, but I love language, and I love like other people. I love hearing languages that I don't even know just to hear sounds that I've never listened to before. Like I might after this video pull up like Russian and just listen to like Russian ASMR or something like that, just to hear people speak in another language and just hear those sounds as a high frequency, just the sound of their words. I especially want to know about other letters that I don't know about yet. The only letters I know about are some Sanskrit letters. Like Sanskrit has so many letters, but they're all like derivatives of like English or vice versa. And one of the only letters that I know about are like the LA or AA, the AA from Spanish and the NA from Spanish that aren't in like English. Like I don't really know any letters that aren't. I don't know letters that aren't in English or Spanish. I don't know of those letters. So if you know about those letters that aren't in those two languages, like XL or some shit, like some language that's like some words that aren't sounds or letters that aren't in those two languages, like my main languages, you should tell me about those because I would like to know about those letters. Just because. If I could really title this whole video like how I wanted, it'd probably be just because. Like low key, just because I have all these other intentions. Like the reason I'm making this YouTube video, I'm trying to be famous. I'm trying to acquire like Christ consciousness, not acquire it though. But yeah. I'm pretty sure all you have to do to achieve Christ consciousness, like I ended my last video talking about this, but I think all you need to do is to give up sleep and to give up food. I'm pretty certain that's all you need to do. Most people will tell you immediately, like, no, you can't do those things. You can't do those things. As soon as you hear that you can't do those things, that's like what got me started on all these things. That's why I smoke so much tobacco. That's why I like talk about all these random things that people like or act lame and like are like comfortable in all these ways that people ordinarily might not. Just because like when people tell you you can't do something, that's how you know you're supposed to do it. Like that's just a no I have. Obviously that's being relative though. Like you gotta be a good person. Excuse me. I consider this like the cough that I have to be like of the collective consciousness, and like every time that I cough I'm like clearing more energy of the collective consciousness. I use my own body and my own self to read the body ears, the selves of the collective consciousness, and it works really well. If you just there's certain signs that you can learn to look for, like the breath or the prana, or like hiccups and burps and these weird things that we do that are like weirdly timed, and you can use them to know like this video is so about to end soon, but you can use those things to sort of like read the collective consciousness using your own body.